watching Morning at NTV.
I'm Romeo Basiku and this is Morning at NTV. While some people cry about being stuck in long-term relationships, a long love affair is thriving in the music industry, especially among concert goers. This is the love for Nigerian musicians. Patrick Nemeka Okori, commonly known as Patoranking, is one of those people who have failed to resist the allure of Ugandan music fans. And every time fans anticipate a powerful and exciting performance from the Nigerian reggae and dancehall artist. Well, the question is, why now? What happened to the last decade when Ugandan musicians dominated the country's concert scene? Did politics help Nigerians return, or did our promoters opt to play safe in the face of flying bottles? Joining us for this discussion is Mr. Andrew Kagwa, our regular arts and culture panelist here on this show. He's also an arts journalist with our sister newspaper, that is the Daily Monitor. Very good morning, my brother. Thank you for coming.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me here.
What happened to the last decade when Ugandans would take over the concert scene, but now we are seeing Nigerians taking over. Our concert organizers playing safe in the face of flying bottles.
No, they are not actually playing safe. Because if you ask me, Nigerians have been around before the flying bottles. There was that time when we had that issue, when I think it was Bebe Kulu came out and was like, we are tired of DJs and everyone prioritizing Nigerian music over Ugandan music. And I remember at that time I talked to DJ Aluda and I asked him, is it true, like, are local artists right when they complain that they are not getting a fair share of the cake? And I remember him telling me that truth, many of our DJs have a very soft spot for foreign music. Like when it comes to a local song, they'll be very conscious. They'll be looking at how is it a quality song? Is it good enough? They will have all these issues you can have with a song. Yet when it comes to a Nigerian song or any other foreign song, be it South African, they'll find themselves playing it without asking a lot of questions.
So the DJs are discriminating against their own local artists?
Like there is that bias, there is that little bias, but at times you don't really blame that much. I think we shall end up having that conversation, but the bias is divided all through. Like you see, the most dangerous thing at the moment is that we do not have a government policy or anything
that compels
that compels one to have local content on stages. Or that
it's now with media houses, not with the DJs.
No, not just the media houses. It's even whoever is organizing a concert. It's not directly asking people not to have foreign content on the stages, but it's somehow making it so hard to have so much foreign content. For example, I know countries where they will tax you for every hour a foreign artist spends on stage, because that's lost opportunity for a local artist. So when you're bringing a local artist, you always make sure you bring when you're bringing an international artist, you always make sure you bring very many local artists to eat up most of the time. And you will make sure that when your international artist comes, he spends only 45 minutes on stage. In Uganda, we have situations where someone comes and they have about 3 international artists, and all these people are going to actually perform. All these people are going to make Ugandan artists lose opportunities because they're on stage. We need, in some way, we need policies. We need policies when it comes to protecting a local artist. Yeah.
Well, the DJs are being biased. That is one thing. But the media houses like Nation Media Group, we've been playing local music day in, day out, especially here on NTV, Spark TV. We've been playing local music. But I've never encountered a scenario where an artist calls in at the NTV offices and says, please, guys, thank you for having played my song at around 2 p.m. I'm appreciative. Thank you for supporting local music. They won't do that, but they'll wait for their song to appear on the BBC platform, and then they'll tweet, they will do everything like, yes, I had my song on BBC, or I saw my video on BBC. I'm now an international artist.
It is a very big problem with that's now what I wanted to tell you about the local artists. Yes. Our local artists have a problem. It's a shared problem. Like, the DJs have their issues, they have their bias, but when it comes to the local artists, like I usually ask artists that every time something is coming out against artists, Every time the government is proposing something, you run to the media. Every time you feel like there is a lot of Nigerian music playing, you run to the media. But how many times do you appreciate the media? Do you even buy the media? Like I'm one of the people that has written about very many artists, and a story is flying around for an entire day, and at the end of the day, the guy calls you and is like, that story that ran in the Monitor, by any chance do you have a free copy? Which means he actually didn't buy his own copy. Like we have artists that act like that. So I usually ask them, how do you support the media? Like we are not asking you to come out and buy out all the papers. No, we are just asking you, if NTV plays your song, tweet it the way you tweet, because trust me, when MTV plays a song of a Ugandan artist, they will tweet about it. When Trace Naija or all those international channels play a Ugandan artist, they would tweet about it like it's no man's business. NTV plays them, it's like they do not see that.
The argument on that, someone told me that it's because a local artists sing their music on NTV would mean that they are still local artists. And when they see their music on the Trace platform, they would think that they are now international artists. Is it a perception problem? Because the Nigerians have been able to penetrate into the international market, but by first being those local artists who are loved at home. So I believe to become an international artist, you need to first penetrate the local market. If you don't...
Many people do not really understand the science of getting international. Like,
help them understand.
Which camera is getting us? Yes, many of our artists are non-schooled. Like I would say that many of artists are non-schooled. They are quite very ignorant, and they believe that being international is all about having a song play on an international channel. But guys, I would like to tell you that actually, when your song is playing in Rwanda and you're in Uganda, you're an international artist in Rwanda, but you still be a local artist in Uganda, like very, very local. Yeah. Now that I've said that, many of artists do not know that what people like about them is the Ugandanness. It's the Ugandanness that sells you to Nigeria.
Thank you very much.
It's the Ugandanness that sells you to Rwanda.
Thank you very much.
Because that Ugandanness is what Rwanda doesn't have, what Nigeria doesn't have, what Ghana does not have. But what our artists are doing, because they think they want to be international, is they will go and record a song with Pato Ranking. And Pato Ranking knows that Nigeria is a big market. You want to penetrate it. You want to blow up in Nigeria. What he would do, you go back to Nigeria, record a song that is way better than yours. After recording a song with you, remember,
a low quality song.
Remember, your song is a low quality one. Your producer is not as good as his producer. His producer is probably a Nigerian based in South Africa, so he has better equipment. He'll record a better song, and he will push it more than you're pushing. He will push your song, and you will be in Uganda pushing your song with him, indirectly pushing Pato Ranking, putting him up, getting him more bookings for the future in Uganda, thinking that you're trying to be international. There is this artist called, I think, Ketchup. He did a song with Vinka, the remix of Chips and Ketchup. Like, Ketchup was in Uganda at the beginning of the year. I think he was the first Nigerian to perform in Uganda this year. And truly, Ketchup has nothing to offer us than just songs he has done with Ugandans.
I agree.
Like, he has done a lot of remixes with Ugandans, a lot of collaborations with Ugandans. When there is nothing beyond that this artist can offer us, but he keeps getting bookings here.
So, Kagwa, let's talk about the problem. Is the issue about self-esteem, or is it the politics when it comes to music, the organizers choosing to bring in these international artists over the local ones? Is it a self-esteem issue right here in Uganda, in that an artist who is thriving in Uganda would think that they are still upcoming, they are still local just because they have not penetrated into the international market? The Nigerians, at some point, their music actually was being boycotted. I think you remember. People were like, we don't even understand what they're singing. What are they even saying? So people started boycotting Nigerian music. Now, for them, the solution they had to come up with is to support their own music.
Yes.
Because people are telling them, no, change the style. We don't even hear what you're saying. But the Nigerians say, no, 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 this is us. This is our culture. This is what best describes a Nigerian. When a Nigerian speaks, you just know from the accent. So they decided the best way is to promote our own local music. If they don't want to listen to it.
They became very aggressive at it.
Very aggressive. And that's when the international players came around and were like, wait,
funny thing
we
is
need to get a lot of this.
Like you go to Lagos and you'll be in a bar or you'll be in a club, like a very, very busy club, and they will play for 2 hours straight without playing a foreign song. And I'm not saying African foreign, not even an American
their
song.
Own music.
Like you'll be in Uganda and you'll be knowing like, yeah, Rick Ross is a hit, but those people will play Nigerian content for straight 2 hours without a Rick Ross song or without Ariana Grande or anyone.
And they will be in there dancing and having fun, showcasing their culture through the music and through the dance. You can even see the dance moves that they have. But what I do not understand, why are our Ugandan musicians trying to replicate the same dances, trying to replicate the same accents? It doesn't make any sense. Music is supposed to be an avenue where you showcase your culture through those songs. So in Uganda, for us to showcase our own culture through music, I think the first thing is self-esteem, understand where we are, understand where you're from,
and
understand where you're from, and try to showcase the culture of your area through music.
We need to appreciate our culture. We need to appreciate our sounds. There are very many mainstream artists whose songs have never featured Ndingidi on them, whose songs have never featured even Namunjolo, to say. Yet, today you will know.
Navio has tried to make that fusion.
Yeah, he has tried to do that, to do that fusion. But you will not listen to a Nigerian song without a talking drum. Like they usually hold it on the side and there's a way they play it. Like I've seen their concerts live in Lagos. You will not see a set without a guy playing the talking drum. In Uganda at the moment, we do not have anything that we have all these sounds. Like we have very many tribes, so which means we have a lot of culture where we can borrow things, but we are not borrowing anything from them. Like about the self-esteem thing, like it goes back to the fact that Ugandans have a feeling that everything that comes from out is good. Trust me, if Daniel Kaluuya was an actor that had started out in Uganda, we would have been calling him just an actor. But just the fact that he came from there, we knew him from an international perspective to Uganda. We kind of respect him. It's the same thing with many of our folklore artists. We shall not respect them when they're in Uganda doing festivals, but the moment
they
BBC interviews them, everyone, like even local media houses that didn't want to interview them will be like, can I get an interview with so and so? So
after they penetrated the market.
Yes, it's that thing that at times gets into many of our artists that when they have NTV, they do not appreciate it enough. They are trying to get Channel O because they think like maybe they are taking NTV for granted. And when they try to get Channel O and it fails, they see the music on Channel O and they're like, maybe I must sound like that to get on Channel O. And before you know, they're trying to sound Nigerian, not knowing that they are actually promoting more Nigerians in Uganda.
So how best can we kick out this mentality out of our music industry?
I wouldn't say I would want to kick out, because music is like, at the end of the day, we appreciate
Mr. Kagwa, just hold that thought. Before the Nigerian music industry took off, they had to make a decision. Kick all the other artists out and embrace the local artists. We need to make a decision,
the best
especially
way
the promoters.
The best way is we need to love ourselves more.
Kagwa, instead of listening to Pato Ranking, Wizkid, I would rather listen to an upcoming artist from Katanga, from Bwaise, from Katwe. For the first 1 hour before the big headlining acts show up, I would like to first listen to those local upcoming artists. Why are we not seeing that in our country? Why are we not promoting
the very first
local
thing
content?
I would say is we have a problem with people that are running our brands. We have, like, there are many brands I cannot say, but those brands have never been part of a show that does not have a foreign act in Uganda. Like every time you see their brand on a billboard, it's alongside a Nigerian artist, probably a Jamaican. Like they've not, for some reason, been part of something that's just local artists. And brand managers also need to know that our artists are also cool. Like, if you think we are so cool to consume your products, then I think we should be also cool, and artists can be cool enough to promote your products when you're having all these campaigns. So I think the brand managers need to change their mentality in a way or another. Our brand managers need to change.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and well, when it comes to the people that are producing our shows, oh no, not the people that, yeah, the people that are producing our shows, I think they should encourage artists to do one-man shows. There is a thing, I could call it a cancer when it comes to Ugandan music. You will see an artist coming to perform, it's their concert, and they have a list of about 20 curtain risers that are Ugandan. Like, much as I am happy to have curtain risers on your show, I would be very happy if I got a chance to appreciate your music, if I got to see you perform all much of your catalog, because you're that good. Like, the reason that we've not seen our artists do some of their best or come to a show and say do 2 hours, say you have a baby cool, he comes to the show, he does 2 hours of his show and is just singing alone and his music. When you get to appreciate Bebe Cool in that way, it will be easier for a big brand to come and support him because they believe he's worth something, he offers value for money.
But Kagwa, I've been to the ghettos. I've taken it some time off to traverse the different ghettos in Uganda, and I'm telling you the sheer magnitude of the talent in there.
I totally know that. I totally know that talent.
And the main problem is that they do not have the platform to showcase this talent. And when we bring in these Nigerian artists, these South African artists, it kills me. Let me tell you, in the last 30 years, I've never been to a concert in Uganda. Number one, it's because of such issues. But if you tell me there's some kids that are going to be performing, why wouldn't I pay? Why wouldn't I pay? We need to showcase this talent. We need to ensure that we promote these kids. But this is not happening. And this conversation could go on and on until next week. I'm telling you because I'm so passionate about this. But then we have to wrap up.
I totally understand where you're coming
Your final
from.
remarks. We are done.
My final remarks is, one, we need to appreciate ourselves more. Like, we need to love ourselves more. Ugandans are very talented. The same way we believe that a Nigerian or a South African is going to push the brand is the same way we must believe that a Ugandan artist can actually push your brand. Like, let's face it, if Ugandans are that cool and Ugandans are that sleek to support your brand by consuming it, I do believe that they can also use one of their artists to at least push your brand. Thank you very much.